Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. Good morning everyone, welcome. Welcome to our sunrise yoga. So today, continuing with the theme of joy, and this is going to be about, this is a sacral chakra flow. So just to remind you of what the sacral chakra is, that's the chakra just above the root chakra, so it's the second chakra, and it's right around just below the belly. It's also part of the lower back. It's the pleasure center, the center for creativity, creative expression. It's our center for emotions and our relationships. Not necessarily our family relationships, but our relationships with others. So this is a perfect one to do today, or this week, based on the theme. So our pleasure center. So there's a lot of kind of fluid movements. It's water. The element is water. So just think about water. Let's just take a moment here. We're going to be on our backs in a moment, do a little bit of abdominals. And then we're going to come up and do our flow. So sit up tall. Close the eyes. Take a moment, bring your mind's eye into that sacral chakra, excuse me, that sacral chakra area. Just that space just below the navel, around to the back. Our pelvis, our hips. The center of pleasure. So joy, yes, we feel joy in our hearts. It's heart center. But those go together, don't they? To some degree. And let's start to breathe deeply, breathing in and out. And even as you breathe, notice how the pelvis rocks. There's a rocking. You can even make it rock a little bit more than you normally would. So feel that inhaling and you're arching the back slightly because there's a little cat and cow movements here. And exhale, these are tiny, almost imperceptible. And as you exhale, there's a little bit of a tucking under. Use that as your meditative focal point. So your pelvis is a bowl. And imagine there's water in that bowl and it's rocking back and forth, sloshing around. So props today. You can have blocks handy for something later, so just have them near you. And if you need something for your knees, because we'll be doing some knee work on our knees, if you need to cushion your knees. So gently open your eyes and we're going to transition onto our backs. Once on your back, do what you want to do, what gives you pleasure. And then when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees if that feels good. If it's too early for that, then keep your head down. Give yourself that hug. Little rocks from side to side, sloshing that water around. Loosening up those hips. And then placing the feet flat on the ground, knees pointing up. Place your hands behind your head in a forest. We'll do 2 sets with the feet down, and then you have the option of lifting them up to a 90-degree angle. Elbows angling in towards each other. Take a nice deep breath in and lift head and shoulders off the ground. And then as you hold the breath, tailbone lifts, hold it, pause, and then exhale, elbows reach to the ceiling. And then inhale, lower tailbone, just come to the upper part of the shoulders. Head stays lifted. Holding the breath, tailbone lifts, so getting right into that sacral chakra. And then exhale, reach the elbows up, 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 obviously doing some solar plexus here. And then inhale, lower the tailbone down. This time you could stay as is or bring your legs up to a 90-degree angle. Squeeze the legs together, flex the feet, or press through the ball mounds. Take a deep breath in. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone up, and then exhale, elbows reach towards the ceiling. You have an option of taking those legs and straightening them on that diagonal. These are all options. Keep the tailbone lifted, and then inhale, rebend the knees, lower tailbone, and then lower the head. The head's still up, lower to the upper part of the shoulders. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone. Exhale, option to keep as is or straighten those legs on that diagonal. Lifting up, keeping the tailbone lifted even though it's almost touching. And then inhale, bring the knees back in. Lower tailbone. One more set. Holding the breath, lift tailbone. Exhale, straightening those legs, reaching, stretching. Elbows reaching a little bit higher, then take an inhale. Lower the feet down, lower the head down. Place the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide. Take a deep breath in, Baddha Konasana. Inhaling and exhaling. Then from here, just keep your legs as they are. Bring your hands back behind your head. Elbows are now out to the sides. They're within your peripheral vision. We're focusing on the top of the upper abs. So take an inhale, lift your head slightly off the ground, and then exhale to the left. So you're bringing, as if you're trying to touch your left elbow to your left knee. Then inhale back to center. Just keep the head off the ground. Then right elbow towards right knee. Working the oblique muscles. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, lower the head down. We're going to do 2 more sets. Take an inhale, lift head and shoulders up. Exhale, left elbow towards left knee. Inhale back to center, right elbow towards right knee. So you're doing these side stretchy things. Inhale back to center and lower the head down. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift, head. Exhale, left elbow towards left knee. Inhale back to center, right elbow towards right knee. And inhale back to center, exhale, lower the head down. Release the head from the hands. Slide the hands to the outside of those legs. Bring those knees together. Give yourself a hug. Do some circles. Big toes touching, knees wide or wider. And circle around 3 times in one direction, 3 times in the other. And then let's hug the knees in, take a deep breath in, cross the ankles and roll all the way up. Transitioning onto hands and knees. Pressing back into that extended child's pose, arms long and strong. Get into those fingers, those Hasta Bandha hands. Little sways. Keep the rocking movement, because this is where we are today. This is sacral. This is water. Fluidity. Fluid. Be fluid. And then come up to all fours. So this is where you might say, oh, I could use something for my knees. Bring your knees hip distance or a little bit closer in. Let's take the right leg up, out to the side, like they call these hydrant legs. And then we're going to circle them around, circle this right leg around. So picking that one direction, because we're going to lift up in a moment, do the same thing and you're going to circle in the other direction. So just stay in this one direction. And then bring the knee right next to the left, but don't lower it to the ground. Just hover. Curl the left toes under, lift up into a 3-legged dog.
Stretch that right leg first. Stretch it towards the ceiling. Then rebend and circle in the, in the opposite direction. Opening up that hip. And then from here, bring your right knee into the center of the body, then inside your right wrist. Yes, we're coming into pigeon early in the class. Just make this a very, very gentle pigeon. Doesn't have to be, because your hips are kind of tired, they're not yet open enough. And maybe come onto forearms. Come onto rest here for just 3 deep breaths. Breathing in. Forehead resting on something, the floor, on the hands, on a block. Ujjayi breath, getting into that breath. The lungs love Ujjayi. They're like, ooh, thank God for that. It helps them out, gives them a little, helps them do what they're supposed to do. Let's inhale, lift back up. And let's just place the right knee next to your left, back into all fours. Press back into child's pose. Just take a nice little stretch here. Arms long and strong, stretching. Maybe turn the toes under, get into the feet. And then come back to all fours. Flatten out the tops of the feet. And then let's take your left leg. Bend it out to the side and do some circles here. So pick that direction. And just remember, we'll do the opposite. So try and stay as center balanced as possible without leaning too much to the right. Keep circling, loosening up that hip. And then bring your left knee next to the right, but keep it hovered. Curl the right toes under, lift up, 3-legged dog. First, stretch through that left leg. And then bend your left knee and circle in the opposite direction. Sometimes I forget which direction. I usually do the unfamiliar one. The one I don't go to immediately. It's not a huge deal if you go in the same direction. And then let's re-straighten that left leg. Bring that left knee to the center of your body, then inside your left wrist. Slide your right leg back. Coming into pigeon. Notice sides, how different they are. So we get to do pigeon again in a moment, so don't worry about this pigeon. Just let it be pleasurable. Maybe do a few little rocks from side to side, loosening up those hips. Breathing in. And out. Our pelvis is meant to move. So that's what it's for. Lots of things, but feels nice. That's why many of us love to dance, because we shake our pelvis, right? We move our pelvis. Walk our hands back up and just slide your left leg next to your right. Press back into child's pose, strong arms. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if you want to, while you're doing this, just grab your blocks, framing the top of your mat. Then inhale, come to all fours. We'll come to it in a moment. Curling toes under. Let's exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands towards your feet. Open the feet wide, Charlie Chaplin feet if that works for you. Sit down into your malasana, your squat. Hands at heart center. Lifting up through the chest, taking your tailbone, lengthening it down. The ultimate hip opener, right? Lower the hands to the ground. Heel toe those feet hip distance. Walk your hands forward, back into your downward facing dog. Sacral chakra, the chakra of pleasure. Inhaling creativity, inhaling coming to your plank. We're not doing chaturangas. We're taking another break from chaturangas. Exhale back to downward facing dog. We will tomorrow. Walk your hands back to your feet. Open the feet wide, malasana. Sitting down. Maybe this time it's even easier. Hands in front of your heart, lifting and breathing. Let gravity draw that tailbone downward as you lift your crown of the head upward. And then place the hands on the ground, forward bend. Heel toe those feet, hip distance. Heel toeing is really good for your ankles, so that's why it's recommended heel toeing. Walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Hasta Bandha hands, pressing into those lifting up through the palms, pressing into the pads of the fingers. Come back, come into plank. Just hold and breathe. And then let's lower the knees to the ground. Just press back into your extended child's pose. I'm already in warrior. I'm way ahead of myself. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then inhale, come to all fours. Curling toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, bring your left foot in towards your right foot. Right leg reaches back behind you. Stretching and breathing. Three-legged dog. Take an inhale and exhale. Right knee. Bring it right into your right elbow. Just hold for a moment. Draw tummy muscles in and up. And then place that right knee inside your wrist. So we're back into pigeon. So you might say, this is where I want my blanket. So I'm going to do it. Just take a moment. It's not messing up the flow. So this time you go a little bit deeper into that pigeon. Maybe you create a 90-degree angle with that right leg, flex that right foot, or bring the heel underneath your pelvis. Take your blocks, place them in line with your right knee and maybe your left foot. You come to any height that works for you. It's Jerry, listen. He's not listening. He's already down. I should have mentioned, we're not going down. We're lifting, staying up this time. So come onto those fingers. You can adjust the blocks accordingly. Forward, a little bit neck further down. Take a deep breath in. Lift your heart. Make sure that left foot, just walk it into the right a little bit. And then we're going to float down with the heart leading the way. Bend the elbows. Let the elbows open out to the sides. And then as you exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Lifting up. This is a cat and cow type flow. Then inhale, lead with the chest. Chin lifted as you lower yourself towards the ground. You're not going to touch the ground. Exhale, chin to chest. Lifting up, rounding the back. Ooh. One more time. Inhale, chest leads the way. Exhaling, rounding, chin to chest. Ooh, this is nice. Nice for the hips, but also for the arms. Place the hands back on the ground. Curl the back toes under. This is where you might want to throw your blanket away and step that right foot forward. Come into warrior two. Right foot is your front leg. So just adjust the legs so they're in line with one another. Reach the arms out to the sides. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, root down with those feet. Lift up through the center, the middle of the body. Take an inhale, and as you inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your right knee. So we're keeping the arms out. We're just bending and straightening that front leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. This time, exhale, bend and pause for a moment. Go a little bit deeper if you have to open the legs wider so the right knee is directly over the ankle. Feel the arms working. And then take your hands on your hips. Turn your right toes to the left long end of the mat so you're straddling the mat. Toes are tight, slightly turned in, pigeon-toey. Lift up nice and tall and then fold forward. Come all the way down to the ground. You can always put your blocks underneath your hands if you'd like. And let's do some bending and straightening of the legs, getting back into that sacral chakra. Just loosening up those hips. And then let's bend your right knee and turn your right toes forward. Step left foot forward. You're at the front of the mat. Forward bend. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let's lift up into our Tadasana. Standing tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Oh, that feels really good. This is going to make you feel joyful today for sure. So we're still on the right leg. So we're going into our standing pigeon balance. Bend your left leg. I'm going to turn and have you look at me. Right ankle on your left thigh. Hands to heart. I'll turn back. Sit down into that chair. Keep going. Now you have an option of staying here with the hands in front of your heart or lowering the hands to the ground or on blocks. You could do a standing balance. I'm going to just stay right here. There's an arm balance here in this pose, but we'll just stay right here. And then slowly lift yourself back up. Hands to heart and uncross that right leg. Take an inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward facing dog. So you could feel the difference in those legs, right? To bring your right foot in towards your left leg, reach your left leg up to the sky. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then bring your left knee right into your left forearm or elbow. Just holding, lifting up nice into that cat stretch. And then place your left knee inside your left wrist. Pigeon. Slide your right leg back. Taking those blocks and finding a place to put your fingers on, whether it's slightly forward of your legs or in framing your hips, your knee, you'll kind of adjust it accordingly. Come onto the fingertips, take a deep breath in. Let the heart lead the way as you fold forward. And then as you almost touch the ground, exhale, chin to chest, round up through the spine. Inhaling, lifting the chin up, lifting the chest, leaning forward. Exhaling, rounding. One more time, inhale, leading with the chest. I have a feeling you'll be feeling your hips. Lift up nice and tall. Release the hands. Take the hands from your blocks. Curl the back toes under. Step up into your warrior two. It's a little bit not the most graceful movement. Left foot is forward, is the front leg. Arms reaching out to the sides. Take a deep breath in. Soften the shoulders. And as you exhale, then inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your left knee. So you're bending and straightening. Inhaling, straightening. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, straighten. Then exhale, bend and hold the bend. Root down with those feet. Lift up through the crown of the head. Shoulders are relaxed. Gazing towards beyond that middle finger. Dristi. We're not going to turn to the right side of the mat. We're going to spin forward and place the hands on the ground, framing your left foot, pressing back, downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands towards our feet. Oh, you know what I forgot? Oh, shoot. Okay, just come back into downward facing dog. We can't forget the other side. Walk your feet forward. I thought that felt a little short. Lifting all the way up to Tadasana. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. So now we're doing the standing pigeon on the other side. Bend your right knee. Place your left ankle on that right thigh. Take a deep breath in and sit down into your chair. So your pelvis is not lifting back. There's a slight tucking under. And if you feel like you can actually touch the ground or touch blocks with those hands, I'm going to try and touch the ground. Or keep the hands at your heart center. Breathing in. This is so good for your psoas muscles. And then slowly lift yourself back up. Hands to heart. Uncross that left leg. Sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward facing dog. And then lower the knees to the ground. Swing around so the feet are at the front of the mat. Ease yourself onto your backs. Stretch through the legs, stretch through the arms. Hug your knees into your chest. Let the knees drop to the left, spinal twist. Your hips should feel pretty nice by now. Oh, the joy. And then let's pick our knees back up. Give yourself a hug. Maybe this time forehead to knees. And then knees to the right. Turn your gaze to the left. And then pick your knees back up. Give yourself one last hug. And then extend left foot to left corner, right to right. Throw that blanket on, whatever you need to make you feel really comfortable. As we settle into our Shavasana. Nothing more to do, just be. Pure joy. And you can continue on or roll onto your right side. and then find your way up into your cross-legged seat, Sukhasana. Once you're there, feel into these hips. Wow. Something shifts beyond just the hips feel good. There's something different. You feel like you've unloaded a lot of stress. There's a simplification to your body. It's simple. It's easy. That's joy.
It's when tension, which kind of draws you downward and is heavy. Now you're not. You feel light, invigorated, joyful. It's as I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal the practice. Have a lovely, lovely day, everyone. Namaste. And I'll see you tomorrow.